guests are already seated here. Dr. James Kwabena Bomfeh Jnr, a CEO of CenCES and lecturer at UPSA Lom Nuku Alija, is lawyer, lecturer, and energy expert. Victoria Bright is corporate lawyer and an entrepreneur. And joining us via Zoom is Dr. John Osai Kwapon, CDD fellow, and I guess now he is lecturing with us here in country. Let me start. Okay, but ladies and gentlemen, good morning to you.
Good morning.
I hope all is well.
Thank you for having us.
Well. Great. Let me go on Zoom now and bring in Dr. John Osai Kwapon. Okay, all right. So when John Doc is ready, I'll bring him in. But let me come in studio and start talking about Ayawaso by-election and matters arising. I'll start with you, James Bomfeh. I mean, on Saturday when you saw reports of what was happening in Ayawaso East, and also in the evening, or along the way, you heard an interview with Baba Jamal saying that, well, but he's been giving people all the time, and so this is not news. How did you take that particular election and all the issues that came from it?
Thank you very much, and a good morning to our cherished viewers. Before I address your question, let me take this opportunity to celebrate Prempeh College.
Okay.
That turned 77 last Thursday.
Okay.
5th February. It was on that day, 77 years ago in 1949, that Prempeh College was outlawed officially. 2 days before that, on the 3rd of February 1949, the boys, the first 50 boys, who were seniors unto themselves, had started coming, and it was set on the principles of character formation, character building that leads to nation building. So in Twi, the motto, which today has been shortened to Subani Nimdeɛ, was on my pa fapem ne obrapa. On my pa fapem ne obrapa.
Okay.
And on this occasion, we also had the 26th edition of the Pearson Osai Appreciation Lectures. Pearson being the first headmaster, and Osai being the first African or Ghanaian headmaster.
Okay.
In appreciating them, we instituted these lectures to be held annually. So it coincided with it, and the person who delivered the lecture was the good Professor Kofi Adjumabedwa-Akosa, former president of the Old Boys Association, former president of the Ghana Medical Association, and former Director General of the Ghana Health Service. He spoke on Prempeh College and what makes us different. Went into the foundation, the fact that Prempeh College is the only institution that was built on the tripod of the colonial government, the traditional society, Asanteman Council, or Asanteman, and then 2 religious institutions, Methodist and Presby.
Wow.
We are the only college or school, and apart from, Prempeh College, the Presbyterians and the Methodists did not combine to found any other school. Anyway, so
all right.
He spoke on what makes us different, but 2 things out of what he said.
I'll let you get
discipline.
I'll let you get into that.
Okay.
But let me just wrap this up quickly, and then we can bring that in. Before I bring in Dr. John Osai Kwapon, let me bring you a video of Baba Jamal himself granting an interview to the press in the midst of all of these allegations of vote buying. Listen to him now.
It's a very hectic campaign period. It has been very difficult for me, for my family, for my friends, because of how these elections went about. But today, by Allah's grace, I am the winner, and I thank Allah for this feat. I want to also thank the presidency, the friends in the media, my friends, ministers, parliamentarians, my constituents, especially my campaign team that waged a serious campaign within these 2 weeks period. I want to also congratulate my contestants that This victory is not for me alone, but it's for all of us. This is an internal.
All right, so that is Baba Jamal there after he had won the elections. But let me start with Dr. John Osai-Kopong. I mean, what do you make of what happened in Ayawaso East? And what do you think must happen? We've seen a lot of petitions. I mean, the majority in Parliament have called for annulment of this particular election. The OSP has communicated that it has begun investigation into this particular process. What's your own view and what must happen? Doc, do I have you? Okay, all right then. Let me come in studio. When we get him, we'll bring him in. But I'll start with you. Just one, maybe you complete your
So
thing.
Professor Kusa spoke on the need for discipline. And that's where he suggested that we develop a code of discipline for the college, and other institutions can take from there. I'm just linking that to on Saturday I was in church.
Okay.
And then I traveled later on in the day. So I picked up the information that you're sharing later in the evening of Saturday. And I also, combed through my media networks to understand what was going on or what had gone on. Kwadwo, it comes back to something we've been discussing here. Voter responsibility and voter entitlement. Then within that is the question of citizenship that Professor Kusa also spoke about. What does it mean to be a citizen of this country? Article 41 of our 1992 Constitution provides us a framework. The duties, part of it includes voting. Voting with conscience, voting with the aim of providing ourselves with the intellectual necessities or acumen that will build the nation. People with proven character and integrity, dedicated to their words and not saying one thing and doing the opposite. So with that, is that how voters approach the ballot? That is something we need to ask ourselves generally. What happened there is just a microcosm or a symptom of a bigger problem. And it's a problem of indiscipline. The problem of acquisitory and material-oriented politics. That what am I to get as a person materially, not in terms of the overall altruistic good for the country. As I moved from Kintampo to Kumasi, I haven't used that road for a long time. And, wow, goodness, which road in Ghana, what road network do we have? About 100 kilometers. That is okay. Ghana, today, 100 kilometers, non-stop. That is good. MPs are in parliament approving budget. And I'm wondering their constituencies. And it's not as if we do not provide budget allocations to road networks. Every budget has. But I can sit here and hazard that 70% of what is budgeted for roads end up somewhere else and not on the roads. The 30% don't end up doing the work on the road. Otherwise, how can a road constructed within less than 1 year be set in a bad state that we have to reconstruct it?
They can't afford to Kumasi, what you mean?
Bad roads. Bad roads. Kumasi Township, bad roads. And whilst some projects, road projects are abandoned, they are between Santasi roundabout and Ahojo roundabout. And I plead with the authorities. They want to expand the road. Well, finish the ones that are not yet completed before you come and do the expansion. I like the demolition that has taken place. But I'm saying all these things to ask ourselves, that what motivates our choice of people we vote for to go to parliament, who we vote for to become president of the republic? Is it guided by who can stand and say that if we have budgeted 10 million for roads, 10 million should go into road construction, not the other way around, where we will budget 10 million, you go and check the actual work done, the quality of the work, and you can say that definitely this is not 10 million work.
So how does it relate to what happened in?
So I'm bringing it that this is just a symptom. How we go in for what we want today. People are complaining about sharing of TV sets, money. Which of the candidates there was innocent of it? If you don't do it, they won't vote. The last one we heard, I think, was it last 2 weeks or last week? We heard that a particular constituency said that if they had not received some envelopes from a particular candidate, they won't go and vote. And they delayed in going to vote. Voter entitlement. That people assume that because I'm electing you and you are going to be in a position to grab more, I must take something from you before. It kills quality and good people from going into this, because we are not willing to go and do that. I'm not willing to do that. I'm not willing to do that. So if you are not willing to do that, you sit back. Those who are willing to do that are the ones who have a different agenda. And our space will be filled by that. That said, I am really wondering what is happening within the NDC. The confusion between the presidency, the party headquarters, and their caucus in parliament.
Is there any
First,
confusion?
there was a statement issued by the party office that they were going to investigate what had happened. Subsequent to that, a letter was issued that a committee had been formed. Well ahead of the committee getting to work, the presidency issues a statement and accuses one of the candidates, and actually says in that release that he is being relieved of his duty as High Commissioner because of almost something that is yet to be investigated. Then the majority caucus issues a statement to say that must be annulled. I'm wondering what is happening.
But are they not all after one thing?
No, they are not. See, it's confusion. Now, if the investigation is conducted and it is proven that the man, Baba Jamal, who the president as his High Commissioner to Nigeria, is not guilty of the allegation that he had not been involved in any of such thing, what will become of the president's record?
But he himself has confirmed on interview that well, he gives gifts to people all the time. So
no,
there's no difference.
There's a difference between giving gifts. What are they going to investigate? They are going to investigate using money and things to influence, which is a breach of law. That's what is going to be investigated, not what he said that he had given gifts.
Okay.
2, he is not the only appointee of the president. Some of the other candidates are appointees of the president. They have also been accused. Why is the president not relieving them of their positions? Are you getting the drift of my point about the confusion? Then you talk about the majority caucus. And then now, the majority caucus, led by Mahama Ayarga, issues a statement saying that it should be annulled well ahead of investigations. You see, and it is characteristic of what President Mahama did when he was president-elect, that without any authority whatsoever, he set up a so-called ORA. It's eating them up now. You see where it's taking us? At the time when we condemned it, that look, take your time. Festina lente, hasten slowly. Because hasty climbers will always have a sudden fall. I don't like what is happening. And I don't think anybody in NDC, the government and parliament, majority side should be happy. The confusion is just too much. They should take their time. You cannot fight wrong the wrong way. You cannot use wrong processes and wrong means to arrive at a good point. Something has gone on. We are not happy about it. let us take our time, investigate the matter, come to the bottom of it, and apply appropriate and necessary sanctions. To be jumping about, Parliament saying this, party saying that, and some of the conspiracy theories that have come up. I hope you've heard some of them. I'm not going to say any of them here because I don't want to dignify that. But you give rise to these things to be said. I don't think I am happy with the way we're doing our politics in the country. Values, principles are giving way to personalities, pockets, and, if you like, anything you can do to win elections. But if elections are supposed to be a means of securing the mandate and the trust of the people, to put us in a position where we will lead in organizing the energies, the intellect, the resources of the nation together to work in building a country we want, that will satisfy all of us, that no Ghanaian should be in the basic need of life, food, shelter, employment, clothing, that anybody who wants to aspire in education can aspire to the highest without financial encumbrances. If that is what we want, we better change. We better change, because the way we are going about it, we are pushing ourselves gradually, inch by inch, into a chaotic system that no one can stand.
But at least the committee the NDC has put together is a good move to investigate this and make sure we get to the bottom of the matter. The OSP also says it is investigating it.
You see, the OSP, the least said about it, the better. I'm telling you that what the party is saying, what the presidency has done, what the majority, it doesn't show seriousness.
Oh.
It doesn't show finesse. It doesn't show coordination. It doesn't show organization.
The guy has been sacked.
Who has been sacked?
Baba Jamal.
He has been sacked.
Yeah, he's been recalled from.
That's what I'm saying. And the basis for the recall is an allegation that is yet to be investigated. Okay. What is the president doing? I mean, and I'm saying that it's not just Baba Jamal, who is an appointee of President Mahama. There are other members, the other candidates are also serving on boards and other things. Yeah. Why has he kept them there? Why has he left them? Or they are innocent of the allegations of, what do you call it, vote buying or vote whatever, which Baba Jamal denies. Did you read his response? He denies what the presidency based the recall on.
Yeah.
And you have set up a committee to investigate. Ayarga has been replaced because of the, what do you call it? The conflict of interest that arose because his caucus had already pronounced on the matter. Why do you get yourself in this quagmire, this confusion? At least coordination. And you see, one thing I want to say.
When you say Ayarga has been replaced as what?
Oh, a member of the committee that was set up to investigate the matter.
Okay.
They've asked Sinenu Safuseni, a former member of parliament, to now go and replace him. And I'm saying that a little patience and proper coordination, organization amongst these three bodies, the presidency, the party that gave birth to the president or sponsored his ticket, and then the caucus of that party in parliament. If they had coordinated and shown leadership a bit, it would be needless.
Okay.
It won't happen.
Let's bring in the Deputy General Secretary of the NDC, Mustapha Gbande, who happens also to be the Deputy Director of Operations at the Presidency, into this. But before then, let's listen once again to Baba Jamal.
So if you give television sets to people, what is wrong with it when you gift things to people? Is this the first time I'm gifting things to people? I have been, those of you who know me, know that every Christmas, every occasion, every instant, I have put down 2.5 million to give free loans to people. So if today you are giving, people are coming to vote and you are giving them something, you are not, it's not buying food. I speak. If you have listened to me carefully, I say, look, If somebody gives you gift, you can take it. But allowing that gift to influence your vote is what is wrong. It's not a gift. It's allowing that gift to influence your vote. Then it's wrong. By giving gifts, all this week, you think that you can bring people together and you won't give them water. It is not the item. It is the intention. Do you understand? And I don't think that I have gone around, I've spoken to them, I've met people, and that's why I'm still saying that I'm hope and trust that they will see reason with me and come along with me.
Your Excellency, the timing, is it not constant to you? The timing for giving the gift that you just mentioned, if indeed gifts actually happen, is the timing not something that you should worry about?
Timing of what?
The timing at which these gifts were given.
As you are talking now, if I give you gift, won't you take it?
Your Excellency.
Do we have time that we give gifts?
Your Excellency.
So that's Baba Jamal there. Mustapha Gbande, good morning to you. Trust you're good.
Good morning, my brother.
Great. So what is it really that you want to find out? That these gifts were able to influence the decision of the voters, or what?
A very good morning to you and our cherished listeners, including the co-panel, my brother, Dr. sitting by you. First and foremost, it's important that we situate the context of the investigation. One, that the NDC is an entity on its own, have organized primaries as our customs demand to select a presidential candidate for the purposes of the election. And whatever happens on that day, that Saturday, the NDC has a responsibility in terms of, one, ensuring that the party is not in disrepute. Two, that activities of the party as far as the election is concerned is not in reproach. And so our attentions were drawn to several of these concerns being raised on that election. And those activities were directed at counter-accusation and accusation. It is important that in the midst of the widespread concerns that were raised, the party as a body will do proper, analysis of the issues, proper interrogation, in order to determine whether there were either ethical issues or there were issues that breaches the regulation of that election, or there were issues that undermine the public integrity and credibility of the party, or is it the case that one person's activity or conduct is likely to jeopardize the image of the party or put the party's name into disrepute? So all of these issues will only come out after you have done a thorough investigation. And so we found it necessary to institute a committee of eminent persons who are of that capacity and caliber to do the work. The committee is led by Honorable Totobi Kwachi, to, as much as possible within 2 days or 3 days, bring their findings. Now, the prima facie is that there have been some pieces of information.
Right.
There have also been some widespread allegations. In fact, I must also state that the persons who have, took part in this election are not just mere people. One, Honorable Baba Jamal is a former Deputy General Secretary, a lawyer, a former MP, a former minister, and currently an ambassador. He is someone who understands the rules and plays by the rules. If you took the wife of our brother Naza, she's acquitted herself as a very influential person in that constituency, supported her husband and all sort of, and the others that have contested. It would be improper for the party to just listen to widespread concern and begin to issue directives without interrogating to the latter.
Okay.
And so that's the context within which we have, we've decided to investigate this matter. Number two, I have seen commentaries that have sought to say that, it's criminal in nature, it's not criminal in nature. It does not in any form or shape preclude a party from using our rules and our internal structures. We are a body that have our own rules that governs our party. At least in the meantime, this is a party that in the totality of all the activities I've just spoken about, stands to condemn and dismiss and also take to responsibility any act or conduct closer to what they call vote buying. And I might say that we are also very minded by the fact that these can only be established in a court of law. Meanwhile, the ethical issues are one within the domain of the political party. And we are clothed with the authority to take decisions and sanction our members who, for one reason or the other, may not have behaved in a way that is in sync with the values, principles of the party. Number two, that if the party organizes an activity, say election, which is internal in nature, a subject which becomes a matter of concern to the public, we are a political party, and the interest of the ordinary Ghanaian or the Ghanaian people, as far as political parties and their nature is concerned, it's very important and it's very key. Unless you are a toddler coming from student election who do not have experience, then you would think that what we are doing would not, reshape our political landscape and also strengthen our democracy.
Okay.
Now, I've heard my brother talk about, it's not this, it's not that. Number two, the president appoints individuals, and all of us are appointees of the president. The mere fact that your name is in some controversy subject to investigation gives the president a recourse to take a certain action, remedial action, to ensure that your presence as an office-wielding individual does not subject any investigation that will be done by anybody. And I've heard my brother sitting there and talking, was it not this in this country when in the MPP primaries they were accusing themselves of who hoarded government fertilizer, consolidated funded fertilizer.
Gbande, for you, the party.
Let me
Hold on, Gbande. You say the party thinks that you have to investigate this matter so that you don't take actions on hearsays or allegations. But you are okay with the presidency taking a decision on allegations that have not been investigated to prove otherwise or not?
If you look at even the wording of the letter from the minister in charge of communication, he stated that even the fact that the party have instituted an investigation is enough basis for a recall to allow that, committee to be able to do its work. One, you do not also know what further actions the presidency will take if it is established that a person or an individual has conducted himself in a way that, is unlawful or breaches the code of ethics of the presidency. And so for me and for our listeners, we have taken a very strong position which stands to condemn and visibly and openly telling the ordinary Ghanaian that what your concerns are around political activities and organization of political parties and our internal activity. We in the NDC are going to take the lead to reshape and to redefine the discourse of our politics and how we organize our party going forward. That the mere fact that both NDC and MPP have been guilty or of some sort in the past does not mean that we should continue to allow these things to happen and withdraw the curtains on it, and political parties are bastardized. We must create a new Ghana within the principles of the reset.
Okay.
We must create a society that is orderly, a new Ghana where discipline is working, a new Ghana where the rule of law is actually being seen working to reshape behavior of people in a society. And let me tell you that our clear objective is to redefine the conversation that in the NDC, you will find order. In the NDC, you will find discipline. And in the NDC, you would have a leadership that have what it takes to crack the whips.
Okay. Gbande, with this investigation or the committee that has been set up to do this work, is it only going to be focused on Baba Jamal or all the contestants?
The committee's work will even go to the extent of the receivers. Because both the giver, and it's not about Baba Jamal. We are interrogating the entire primaries, the activities that happen within the primaries, the behavior and conduct of the actors who are the aspirants of the primaries. We've also seen some allegations of counter and allegations from camps of various contestants. So all of these things will be put in context and analyzed. We want to just draw the curtains on these issues once and for all. He is sitting there and telling you that.
And you are saying that by 3 days, this committee will present its work on its report on this work you've given them.
Well, I can assure you that it's not just a paperwork. It's a statement of leadership.
I get it, but I want to get a clarity that the committee will present its report to you in 3 days.
The committee is supposed to present its report, preliminary report, or whatever it is, whether it's conclusive, today, by Tuesday, tomorrow. And once we receive that report, action honestly will be taken. But I need not to let these things slide. Let me say this to you. We sat in this country, and we do not intend.
But that's fine. Well, let's stay on the matter now. Even ahead of the report, the majority caucus in Parliament is asking the party to annul the elections. When are you going to sit on this petition?
We have already taken a decision. Our decision is not influenced by any other entity. Merely that a cross-section of society have vehemently spoken about this matter, condemning what it is, and expecting that individuals within the NDC, that they have so much trust and confidence to do things different, would have actually been seen doing things different, was enough for the party to investigate. And we are not going to be influenced by what members of parliament are saying. We are going to take decisions considering the surrounding circumstances, considering the actions that took place, considering the credibility of the entire primaries or the election process that took place. And then we ground ourselves in a certain decision that sets the difference. And so we are not influenced by whatever suggestive petitions any other person would have written. That is not our
focus. Will the elections be annulled if it comes to it?
I can give you an assurance that no single individual in the new NDC will be allowed to hold a party to ransom. Number two, if it requires that the party take any position to restore an integrity or credibility, same will be done. So it is not just an issue of nullifying results or non-nullifying results. We are going to get to the bottom of this matter, and we nip it in the bud once and for all.
I'm grateful to you, Mustapha Gbande.
No, but I'm not done yet. I need to respond to some of the bits and pieces of things.
Don't worry, well, I control the time here, so I'm grateful to you. I'm grateful to you, Mustapha Gbande, for giving us your time to respond to some of the issues that we needed some answers to. Let me come to the studio and come to you, Vicky. So you've listened to the party. You saw what happened over the weekend. Mm-hmm. I mean, from where you sit, what do you think really is going to happen? And what must happen?
Well, this is not the first time we're hearing of inducement of any sort in elections in this country. In fact, it happens across both political parties, and it's become almost like a business model,
Beyond it.
And I say I use the word that it's become a business model because you pay the money, you get your seat, and then you go and sit there. And what happens, you see, my point is that if that is how you got in, then these things are not cheap.
No.
Because there are a lot of delegates. I mean, some constituencies have a large number of delegates. I don't know how many there are in Ayawaso East, but it's a big constituency. And so clearly, if you go and sit there, then instead of worrying about the job, you are worrying about it becomes a cost recovery exercise. So where's the governance? You're not doing your job. And these are some of the things that I get upset about, because all these things in their totality weaken our democracy. In the end, we all suffer, And so the brutal truth of the matter is that we've gotten to a point now where it's money that really is deciding elections, pure and simple, at every level.
Very sad.
At every level, from the polling stations all the way up to the top.
Entitlement.
And the money decides the elections before the voters even do so. So the vote almost becomes superfluous in some cases. So it's something that we have to pause and think. We really have to pause and think, because it's really becoming untenable. It's becoming untenable. And really, there's a lot of hypocrisy involved. I mean, how many elected MPs or party executives can honestly, hand on heart, say that they are not tainted in any way? That is like zero. So I don't. It's only when people are caught that they suddenly remember that, hey, there's some law somewhere, and then or other people remember it because maybe they don't like the candidate or whatever reason it is, and then there's a big fanfare about it, and then before you realize it, it all quietens down and it's business as usual. So for me, it's something that we have to really take seriously. It's something that we have to begin to draw a line under.
So Vicky, for the Ayawaso East,
yes,
at least if you count the total number of votes that they all had, it gives you 964.
964. So there are almost 1,000 delegates there. Wow.
So let's say
even if a TV set costs,
let's say it's even given to 450 people.
Yeah. You'll give more than half, because you can't guarantee. You at least 80%, 70-80% you have to do, because as John said, fear delegates. Some will collect and not vote. So you have to allow that margin.
Or vote against.
Or vote against. You allow that margin of error. So it's serious money, and that's just one item. They also added cash. Or they do. They give items. They add cash. The sanitary towels is a new angle. I've never heard of that one before. So I guess people are becoming more creative as the corruption deepens. In our voter disposition. I think that the party is right to set up a committee to investigate. What I'm questioning is why it hasn't done so in all the other elections where this has happened. Because our Ayawaso East is not the only election in which we have had this kind of thing. But, well, you have to start from somewhere. So it's a good thing that they've set up the investigations. What I don't understand is putting the cart before the horse. Because if the issues are now being probed, if they are now being investigated, then how does one jump the gun and say someone is guilty? That said, we also heard Baba Jamal on TV saying that, look, I have done these things, but hey, it's not what you're accusing me of. It's something that I do all the time. And, you know, I give loans, I do this, I do that. But the timing, there's a credibility gap there because the timing is a bit too coincidental and it's difficult.
He does it all the time.
Yeah, so, well, I guess if he does it all the time, then that's one of the things that that will be probed. And it should be that once this is done, whoever is found, first of all, it has to be done transparently and it has to be done fairly and properly because it should be done in a way which becomes credible, you know, because you don't want to do these things in a way where people are saying it's a witch hunt, etc., etc. I mean, the people on the committee are very experienced. I mean, you know, Tutu Kwachi is a veteran. And so is Mustapha Gbande, and he's a lawyer as well, and he's a very fair person. So I would like to think that, that they are going to do a thorough probing or investigation into the matters, and then the chips will fall where they do. And it's important that whatever the outcome of that investigation is actually carried through. I think they've also been asked to make recommendations, but if anyone is found to be culpable, then it's important that that person is punished in a way which makes the NDC look serious. Because after all, one of the reasons why Ghanaians elected the party is because of the reset agenda, and corruption is so endemic in our society that is one of the first areas of reset that has to be done in this country. So if they are investigating their own house, then it's very important that whoever is found culpable, after fair and thorough investigations, should be dealt with in a way that confirms the trust that Ghanaians have reposed.
So if more than one person is found to have induced voters, maybe a ban of them from contesting in any primaries, or?
Yes, I mean, you know, I don't know what the party's own internal rules say about these things, but yes, I mean, I think that's one of the things that I saw in one of the letters, that they should be banned from future elections. I mean, with all these things, you know, there's always a time limit. You can't ban the person forever from, you know.
I mean, the case is for you to tie the gift to influence the person's vote, not so. How do you get that done?
Okay, well, first of all, the third member of that committee, which the party has set up, is MFA Fuga, who is also a lawyer.
MFA.
And also a solid one at that. So we can expect that something good will come out from the committee. But now let's take a step back and dissect the question that you asked. And firstly, one of the key things we need to note is that vote buying has been wrong in the past, is wrong today, and will continue to be wrong. And so it is not a matter of whether it has been done or it is something that we are used to in this country, so basically we shall allow it to slide. At any point in time that any institution, organization decides to start cracking the whip, I think we should be happy about that. The reason is because there's always a good time to start changing things. Now, when I was listening to my colleagues, particularly Doc, today it seems our points are at cross purposes in a significant way, because the reason is because if it is wrong and the whole Ghana even decides to comment about it, we should be happy. It doesn't matter whether we are all saying the same thing. Because in this case, we are talking about a situation that was triggered by an interview. In fact, it is the interview that you played which brought about this whole thing. And you could see even from the questions that the journalists asked that they said, we have seen. The journalists have direct information on some things.
Yeah, we saw videos.
Exactly, we saw videos. And the journalists' questions suggest that they saw that it was tied to the election, which is why they put the question. And so you recall that even in Baba Jamal's case specifically, he did first say no, and subsequently he said he has given some gifts, but he was talking about whether indeed it will influence the decision or not. So that's why, and that point is what brings me to your question. When we are delving into the matter of whether it is the gifts alone or whether it is the gifts that influence the vote that is the core or the issue of the investigation, we have to put it in two contexts. The first one is that from the legal point of view, criminal law point of view, which is what OSP will be pursuing, which is what any other state investigative agency might be interested in, they are going to be looking at whether there was an attempt to influence a voting process, okay? And there are laws against that from the Representation of the People's Act. So that's on the criminal side. But when it comes to the party side, it is not only about criminal law. They have their own rules about the party structure, about how elections should be conducted, conduct of the candidates, conduct of the delegates, and all of that. So it is that party's own internal mechanisms that will regulate that investigation. Of course, the criminal can also be considered, but it is not entirely the criminal. There may be other things that will be considered. And the party will come up with this decision based on the recommendation from the committee.
Yeah, I get it. So
Yes.
now the party would only be looking at whether there were gifts exchanged or what.
That's what I'm saying.
So-
Not necessarily, because that one is about one element of it. But beyond that, they could even just look at the conduct in terms of how the candidates conducted themselves, the kinds of things that were even said in the interview that was granted. I don't know if the other candidates also granted interviews. We haven't seen those. But we know that there is some element of information that emanated from that, which is what has triggered all of this. Now, you put that aside, the presidency is also a different, in this context, institution. Yes, because a party in government also has those who are serving in government. And the president reserves the right to take actions that are consistent with what the president's mandate is. You can see from the letter that was issued by the minister that the president is relying on even just the prima facie information and saying that, look, I don't want the office to be tarnished. I can see that the party is going to do its investigation. But in the meantime, I'm recalling Mambasa. And the president has that absolute power to do so. Because for so long as this continues, it continues to create an issue, both for the government and also for the particular office. Because I recall even a few weeks ago, we had the same conversation here when we were talking about Chairman Wontumi, for example, campaigning for Dr. Bawumia, and the optics of it. When the Chairman Wontumi is under investigation, and in fact, he's being tried for some criminal offenses. Yes, there may be a legal aspect. Whether he's convicted or not is one thing. But from a political point of view, there are decisions also that need to be taken. So for me, I don't see confusion in any of these. The majority caucus...
Aren't you pronouncing guilt if you take such action when no investigation has been concluded on it?
Which is why I'm saying that the investigation will come out and determine whether somebody has breached a party's rule or one thing or the other, or whether OSP also confirms that there's a need to prosecute somebody or not. But even the scandal or the fact that there is suggestion of impropriety has an implication for the government. The president has many people that he can appoint to do the work if he so desires. So we've talked about it. In fact, even I recall, we also had this discussion a couple of weeks ago when, for example, Dr. Anani had to resign from his post as Roads Minister to deal with a case that pertained to allegations that were made against him and subsequently reappointed when he was cleared. So for now, it takes attention away from his role as an ambassador. Imagine, for example, in Baba Jamal, I'm not focusing on him alone because as we can see from what the party has issued out, it is clearly about the entire election. But in his specific case, he's an ambassador. Whilst he's there, he will have to be recalled if OSP is looking for him, because they will invite him to come and answer questions and so on. And if he can't come, it means that there will be implications for the party as well. So for me, there's no confusion there. Every time is an opportunity for us to start dealing with the issue. Okay. And you could see from the widespread comments that general public have made is that this thing should not be happening. We are talking about TV sets, we are talking about, food, and all of that. And it will interest you to know that these things are already prescribed by law. Oh, yeah. Even the water, we are talking about when you invite delegates to a place, you give them water. It's not even allowed.
And a lot of laws, It's not just
I'm telling you, the representation of people's
yes.
for as far as elections are concerned, there's a lot there.
Political parties.
Just even inviting them, giving them water, we say TNT transportation. The reason why you are standing as a candidate is to present yourself to serve the people. The reason why the delegates are there is to look for a candidate who meets that expectation. There's nothing like logistics, what do you call water, transportation. It should not be. But what has happened is that we've normalized these things so much that it has become commonplace. That's why we now begin to make the distinction between water and TNT is okay, but perhaps TV but that's how it starts. When you start giving water, you start giving TNT. One day you start giving cars. And we know of this has happened even before in this country.
So how much this, and I'll give each of you 3 minutes on this, how much this development get the political parties to say, maybe the time is now for us to rethink our delegate system?
I think it's as good a time as any. And it's interesting that also in recent times, this conversation has been triggered again by the suit that Professor Gbande and Dr. Ayawaso, yes, they are working on. The reason is because when there are more people in the pool, it cuts down the impact of the money. It is a fact. Also, when you have more people voting, you have a wider acceptance from within a particular party in terms of a candidate. So that when you now even elect a person internally and the person is going to now run in the main election against other party candidates, there's more widespread support within that party because more people took part in the election. In fact, just by way of example, in the US system, for example, where every registered member of a party in a particular state or constituency can vote in elections, it makes it so, it has been so critical in someone, for example, like Donald Trump becoming president. Because if it was about delegates, selected people, there's no way he would have become even the party nominee in the Republican Party. But because it was open. And in fact, we know that the first attempt, it was even indicated in news media that he only joined the Republican Party a few weeks to actually file his nomination. But he became president, ultimately. So that's how the power of the popular vote is so critical. So for me, it is as good a time as any for us to push that narrative. It will be good for the parties, it will be good for the country in general if more people are voting in internal elections. And I think that, for me, I'll advocate that all the parties go down that route. In fact, the NDC has tried it before in the past and came back. But it should be reinstituted. And whatever challenges that existed should be addressed. And then we have a more
Mubarak had same thing.
Yes, exactly. Because he thinks that he was able to get a nod because of that. Without it, he wouldn't have been. And the truth is that there are many people who could offer this. I think Dr. Kabila himself made that point that he's not interested in running for a particular office now because he doesn't want to engage in this money business. Perhaps if it's open, it will be more participatory and the money influence will reduce.
Okay. All right. Vicky.
Yes, I mean, I do agree with the fact that if the electoral college is expanded, then it will reduce the corruption in our voting system. Because the fact of the matter is that it's easier to buy a small number of delegates than it is to buy a larger amount. Yeah, because look, one constituency alone, 1,000, some have 400, some 500, 600, 700. So if you add all of that together, it's a lot of money. And so I think the parties really seriously have to look at that. I know NDC tried it, I believe, in 2015.
2015, yes.
And for various reasons, they decided against it. And I know that both political parties are worried about infiltration from others, from the other political party into their system once they widen the net. But I think there are safeguards. There can be guardrails that can be used to do that. So I think the time has come because look, how are we going to improve our democracy? We keep doing this, and so returning the right person for the right job is a lottery because it's about money. So a lot of good people have just chosen to sit back and not participate at all. Sometimes out of principle, and sometimes because they don't have the money, and sometimes both. They're thinking, well, why should I even bother? Why am I paying to offer my services to the people? You know, because
I want to serve you.
Yeah, I want to serve you. But the mindset has changed, and the delegates also feel that, well, they are giving you something priceless. So this is the time, it's their cocoa season, as they call it.
This is what they say.
So
when we give you the power for 4 years,
we won't see
we won't see you.
So we are collecting it all right now.
But if you are collecting 1,000 Ghana cedis, you will take care of it for
Yes, and then the truth of the matter is that after they collect it, they still come for school fees.
Exactly.
They still come for the funerals and all that. So that argument is, you know, so we really have to begin to look at the types of people that we are electing. Because integrity goes to the root of it. If you get in by corruption, you carry on through corruption. And you're just basically going in there to steal in some cases. You know, and we may dress it up. Stealing sounds harsh. You know, we don't like those words here in Ghana. But that's the truth. Corruption, stealing, but it's all the same thing. They are all subsets of corruption, all these things. So for me, I think the time has come for us to use meritocracy as the basis of our democracy. Because if not, it's becoming a downward spiral. And really, we are descending into a cesspit, and we just keep swimming in it, and we have to start coming up for air now. So for me, we really, so it's good that the NDC has started this. And I agree with Lom, the fact that it was wrong before that, or it's been done, and it's now become so entrenched in our political discourse or even life, doesn't mean that we should continue to let it slide and just say, oh, no, we shouldn't. And so I think that let us see how the committee deliberates, how the committee concludes, what they come up with, and what the party then does as a result of those recommendations. And then we will see whether really we have begun to turn a tide in this country as far as vote buying and inducements and other allegations or offenses like that are concerned.
Doc, I'll let you come in, but let me go on the phone lines and then I'll bring you in. Henry Nanabuachi is the MPP's national organizer. He joins us on the telephone lines now. Henry, I'm grateful to you for joining us here. The NDC, after seeing what happened in Ayawaso East, has instituted a committee to look into it and to prescribe recommendations as to how they can move forward. From where you sit, what do you make of what's happening, and what would you tell the NDC to do? You're all in this game together. If it becomes better, it influences the political system that you're all practicing.
Thank you very much, and good morning to you, Koyo, and your respected panelists. Yes, what happened over the weekend during the Ayawaso East NDC primary is most unfortunate. I mean, it was a wanton display of opulence, especially when you have delegates displaying what they had, motorbikes, bags of rice, sanitary pads, money, gallons of oil. In fact, if you do the computation, there's a huge amount of money. It means one person, if you quantify it in terms of money, it's like one person gets almost about 40,000 Ghana cedis. I mean,
in this primaries?
Yes.
I'm not sure.
No, that is what I'm trying to say. I mean, consider the price of a motorbike. The motorbike I saw ranging between 18,000 to 20,000. I buy motorbikes to support the party's mobilization down there. So I know what I'm talking about. And again, they were also giving some cash. And they said, delegates said, some got between 5,000 to 6,000, I got 3,000. And you also check the gallon of oil, other stuff, right? And then 2-inch TV. I mean, it was a stone on TV. So if you see, I don't know whether you've seen the pictures. I mean,
I have, but I'm not sure the items will be given to every delegate. As you know, by what you do targeting. So it's not every delegate that will get all the items?
Oh, that is what I'm trying to say. Is that if you put it together and if you consider even the outcome of the vote, you could see that one person will be targeting majority of the delegates. So that is why I'm saying that the quantum of money is ranging for. And yes, this is very bad optics for our democracy. It's very, very bad. And I will not be on your show and then pretend. But what I found most unfortunate is that sometimes these things are done overtly, right? But how now it is shown, it's being displayed on TV, people carrying this TV, and it's quite disgraceful and shameful for our democracy. So I can associate myself with the attempt from the NDC to put together a committee to investigate it. But beneath it, it looks like it's more or less like somebody trying to witch hunt somebody. Because frankly speaking, this is not the first time we've been seeing this within the NDC politics, right? This is not the first time at all. So I am amazed as to why this is rather the only attempt to put together a team to investigate these matters. And if you go into the politics of it, some are even saying that there is a clear attempt to tie the hands of Baba Jamal, because we have heard a lot of stories within the NDC, and not only the NDC, even the MPP. So if, for one particular instance, you decide to put together a team to investigate, and even the entire leadership of Parliament calling for the annulment of the elections, I think that the coming days will unfold a lot of things. But generally, the principle is that what happened is really bad for the optics. It's not really encouraging, and it's not a good news at all. I saw a release from the OSP. You see, the OSP should not continuously display its confusion. Right? Look, the NPP had our presidential primaries more than a week ago. It was peaceful. In fact, it's been projected as one of the most peaceful, credible presidential primaries within Ghana's political space. For the OSP to lump MPP's presidential primaries, if you have checked the press release, it gives the MPP's presidential from a certain paragraph.
It's the opening paragraph.
The opening paragraph, yes.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the paragraphs are dedicated for the NDCs. And I think that this is confusion. I mean, the OSP should be up and doing. Look, we've had our presidential primaries more than a week ago, and the NDC had, in fact, that is what is being talked about now. And because of an unfortunate attempt to equalize, I mean, that is very, 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 very unprofessional on the part of the OSP. Because we are talking about the NDCs now, you want to equalize by bringing the MPP, so that what? It will be said that you are investigating both MPP and NDC. Look, it is the NDC matter we are talking about. And that is what has generated this unfortunate debate as we speak now. And with all your respected panelists condemning it, not attempt to drag in MPP's presidential primaries, which, as I said, is being projected as one of the most credible, peaceful, free, fair, transparent, and peaceful elections. So where from this confusion from the OSP? In fact, that is the more reason why the OSP's attempt to come out publicly on matters, right, has received a lot of passion. And recently people were calling for stopping of the office of the special prosecutor. They must be professional in these things. And they must be seen to be intentional about the work they do. What they did is purely propaganda. It's purely a political attempt to equalize.
Okay.
We are talking about primaries where people are sharing motorbikes, people are sharing gallons of cooking oil, people are sharing sanitary pads, and so many things. And instead of you to focus on the NDC's matter so that all of us can discuss it, you want to bring in MPPs, or you just dedicate some few lines of your statement to the MPP and then the entire body.
Okay, all right.
It's dedicated to the NDC. It's most unfortunate, but as I said, I welcome all the productive debates around this unfortunate incident. And as a political party, all of us must learn from these things. And I think that there should be some national discourse around this level of, or the attempt to induce.
But it starts from you, the parties, expanding your delegate system. That's how you can change. I don't know whether or not this would get the MPP to think that we probably need to expand for any future elections that is ahead of you.
Oh yeah, I agree. You recall that after MPP's unfortunate loss, we put together the Professor Michael Quay Committee. As part of the brief we had from Professor Michael Quay, that was part of it, that expanding the delegates system considerably. And then from the Professor Michael Quay's committee triggered the lawyer Frank Davis committee. And in detail, we received the recommendation that there is a need for us to expand it. In fact, the Frank Davis committee recommended that we need to put together a proper, well-managed database that will inform this expansion. So there was a roadmap that was recommended from the Frank Davis Committee for the New Patriotic Party, and which we intend to follow. So we have started this reform, and indeed it is the best way to manage this monitocracy into our democracy. So I agree that we need to expand. Expansion will reduce some of these inducements.
Okay, all right.
So as for that, I agree with, and then all the other views from your respective panelists, I listened to some. I think that, and again, the broad proposal will be for us as a political party to have a bipartisan discussion around these matters.
Okay, I'm grateful to you, Henry Nanabuachi, for joining us here on the show. He is the national organizer of the NPP. So Doc will finish it up for us. Yeah.
So largely, I think that expansion of the delegates is just one aspect of trying to deal with what is the bigger problem. What is the problem? Political party financing. And we've been debating this, and many workshops were held in the late 1990s, early 2000s, and so on and so forth. So political party financing, political party organization, membership duties, responsibilities. These are all issues that must be discussed. And that's why I said what happened in Ayawaso East is a symptom or a microcosm of a bigger and a broader matter. Now, having said that, I don't think my brother Lom actually crossed paths with me. What he did was to pick one side of the issues I raised. Look, the problem with the presidency statement is that it picked and chose. As we speak now, one of the aspirants who is also accused of vote buying, and the committee that my brother Mustapha Gbande says, and it is within their right to do that, irrespective of what the president is doing. Madam Amina is serving on the Lands Commission Board, Hajj Board, and is a government representative on Prestia Sankofa gold mine. So if she's also standing investigations, isn't it fair to then say that by your argument that the president is trying to show that the pending investigations, all his appointees should stand aside? Why didn't it cover the woman?
Okay.
So clearly, the presidency, the statement from the presidency was a rush, in my view. The statement from the parliamentary caucus is in a rush. And I think that I'm happy with the line that my brother Mustapha Gbande took. that the party wants to investigate and get to the bottom of it so that they can nip this in the bud.
All right.
It is incumbent on all of us to support the party to do that. What I am saying is that don't put the cart before the horse. And I think my sister Vicky made that point. So we are together on this. Let us all together support the NDC in trying to sanitize itself. But in doing so, caution the presidency and the parliamentary caucus that festina lente.
Okay, all right. Nana Kwabena Bomfeh in Ablekume, Dr. Bawumia will be president in 2028. Says, good morning, Sam. President Mohammed's decision to recall Baba Jamal is simply a political grandstanding. This is not the first time we are seeing this. It happened at Ablekume North, again at Akwatia. It only got to the peak in Ayawaso East. A very special greetings to Adrian Kese John Boadu, incoming MPP National Chairman Nana Kwabena Bomfeh Ablekume Central, aka Dr. Bawumia, will be president in 2028. Blueprint says this is not the first time the OSP has commenced investigations into an alleged vote buying. The question is, what was the outcome of all those alleged investigations investigated by the OSP since he took office? So you mean the SP, not the OSP. The Office of the Special Prosecutor has outlived its usefulness and must be scrapped. That's what you say there. So that's it today. Would end here, but gratitude to my guest, Dr. James Kwabena Bomfeh Jnr., a CEO of CenCES and lecturer at UPSA. We also had with us Vicky Bright. She is a corporate lawyer and an entrepreneur. And then this name, it excites me so much, Lom Nuku Alija, lawyer, lecturer, and energy expert. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for coming. And thanks to you, Mustapha Gbande and Harry Nanabuache for joining as well. We'll take a break here, but we have a lot for you here on the AM show. Please do stay.